SCO summit. A rather crucial update. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh talks tough at the SCO meet in China. Now, after refusing to sign the SCO document in China for skipping any mention of the Pahalgam attack, Rajnath has slammed Pakistan for perpetrating cross-border terrorism. Rajnath Singh, in fact, slammed Pakistan for perpetrating cross-border terrorism at the SCO meet in China and urged the other member nations to speak out against acts of terrorism. He also referred to Operation Sindoor launched in the aftermath of the Pahalgam attacks as a response to Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. Mega India Today exclusive scoop also reveals its sources, quoting Rajnath talking tough to China over India-China border ties. Sources say that Rajnath suggested a 4-point formula to manage India-China border tensions. The 4 points briefly mentioned about disengagement, de-escalation, demarcation, delimitation and special representative level mechanism to improve India-China relations.
India's zero tolerance for terrorism is manifest today through its actions. This includes our right to defend ourselves against terrorism. And we have shown that epicenters of terrorism are no longer safe and we will not hesitate to target them. We should also take proactive steps to prevent the spread of the radicalization among our youth. The RADS mechanism of SCO has played a significant role in this regard. The joint statement of the Council of SCO heads of state on countering radicalization leading to terrorism, separatism and extremism issued during India's chairmanship symbolizes our shared commitment.
With that, Pranay Upadhyay joins me on the broadcast to bring us more details and put it all into context for us. Pranay, very good morning to you. You know, we've been discussing since morning the developments that took place at the SCO summit or even at the sidelines of the SCO summit. But one thing is very clear at this point, that India has remained firm on their stance against terrorism, be it while addressing all the member nations at the very summit or even when they had their meetings on the sideline with their Chinese counterparts as well.
Good morning, Shreya. And at a time when the Operation Sindoor is still on India's paramount agenda as far as the issue of terrorism is concerned at various global forums, be it SCO or be it any other forum, is to highlight the menace of terrorism and India's new policy of zero tolerance against terrorism and hitting the terror heads or the terror outfits wherever they are, if there is a terror attack perpetrated against India. So the new terror doctrine, the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has found an opportunity to highlight this issue, but not only in the context of the regional regional cooperation mechanism of SCO, but even during the bilateral meeting with the Chinese Defense Minister Admiral Dong Jun, he clearly mentioned that new complexities should not be added. This should be seen. This statement of Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh should be seen in context of Chinese help to Pakistan vis-a-vis the India-China conflict. And also he highlighted a new mechanism. He made it clear that India want a good relation with China, but provided there should be a peace and tranquility maintained on our borders. We share 3,488 kilometers of line of actual control, which remains a dispute, which remains an undemarcated territory. So therefore he suggested a 4-point mechanism to have a sustained disengagement, because we have seen that India and China followed a very staggered approach. It took almost 4.5 years to disengage a post-Galwan conflict, and that's why he highlighted the fact that that disengagement process should be adhered to. Besides that, he also emphasized over the issue of de-escalation, the force accretion, the military postures alongside the line of actual control should be so that it should not escalate the problem, and that's why the de-escalation should be implemented on ground by every mark and measure. Thirdly, he mentioned about the demarcation and delimitation. As I mentioned, that the undemarcated border, undemarcated line of actual control remains a problem between India and China, and therefore he emphasized that the longer goal of demarcation and delimiting our borders should be attained, should be achieved, and that process should be speeded up. And meanwhile, the SR level mechanism should use the various tools and mechanism to put in place that peace and tranquility should be maintained, because this is
Right.
paramount to
Right,
maintain
Pranay,
a good and
as you in
healthy
fact
relation
take
between
us
India.
through all those, all the 4 pointers that have been raised by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, let me just take our viewers through them in a little greater depth at this point. And I thank you for bringing us all those details. Viewers, when we speak of these 4 points that have been laid down, Rajnath Singh talking tough at the SCO summit, let's take you a little more into the details of what each of these 4 points mean. Number 1 being disengagement. What he has said is that the disengagement process needs to be fully adhered to. There's no partial adherence here that we are looking at. It needs to be completely adhered to. Number 2, the phase 2 would be de-escalation. Efforts must be made to de-escalate the border situation, which has been quite rocky since the Galwan clash. Now, demarcation and delimitation, which my colleague Pranay was also speaking of just a little while back, that means accelerating the process of resolving the border dispute. It needs to take place faster. The process needs to be accelerated at this given point. And last but not the least, a special representative level mechanism. What exactly does that mean? The existing mechanism of special representatives must be used to formulate new processes, because the ultimate goal at the end of all of it is to improve relations and manage differences between these two nations. We've been seeing relations, in fact, becoming turbulent over time for the last 4.5 years, in fact 5 years now in 2025. And the goal at the end of all of it is to establish peace, to establish growth for both these countries in a manner which can be mutually formulated. So this is what we are speaking of in terms of the discussion that has taken place between Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and his Chinese counterparts on the sidelines of the SCO summit.